Hello foodies, today we're back in the kitchen and we're going to be cooking spaghetti alla puttanesca. It's an incredible, vibrant and punchy sauce to go with spaghetti, and it's made with olives, capers, garlic and anchovies. If you're going to give anchovies a chance, this is the time to do it, because you don't taste the overbearing fishiness. It just gives a really good depth of flavour and a great seasoning to this dish, so give it a try. This is another dish that can be made in the time it takes the pasta to cook. So it's super quick and can be made with all store cupboard ingredients. It's originally from Naples, which is, as we all know, is famous for its pizzas. And that's in southern Italy, also known as Napoli. Puttanesca, if done right, can be seriously good. If done badly, it can be a horrible salty mess and not very pleasant. So you just need to make sure that we don't use too much salt. I also like to use the honey just to offset that saltiness, to balance it out slightly. I use like a tiny amount and that helps. So let's take a look at what we're going to need. We've got an assortment of olives here. So we've got Ligurian olives from Italy, the Nocellara olive from Italy. This is a Sicilian olive. We have some wild olives. These are actually Australian. And then we have some Greek Kalamata olives. And we're going to use a variety of these. But you can use any of these. The Kalamata is slightly stronger, but the Ligurian ones are slightly milder. We've got some great pasta from Voiello, which is a bronze dyed pasta from Italy. It's incredible. We've got some anchovies in olive oil. Make sure the one's in olive oil, not the ones in salt. Tomato, tinned tomatoes, either cherry tomatoes or chopped tomatoes, either will do. We've got capers, we've got some chili flakes, garlic, and we've also just got a tiny bit of honey just to offset the saltiness. And then we've got some wild oregano just to finish the dish, with a little bit of pecorino today. You could use parmesan or anything just to put on top afterwards. All right, let's get started. So we're going to need some garlic, and I would say probably 2 cloves of garlic. Just smash it. Cloves this size, we'll just take a couple of small ones. So, with our garlic, let's just take the skin off. And we're just going to slice this very thinly. These large pieces are fine because we're going to cook them down. This is going to flavour the oil. We'll get our anchovies. They're ready there. Got these wonderful anchovies and olive oil. And then we've got some olives. We've got some Kalamata olives here. We've also got some Ligurian ones. And these ones still need to be pitted. And I have a little trick for that. You can either use one of these. I'll show you with the Nocellara how that works. It just pushes through, pushes the seed out, and you're left with the olive without the seed. Or what I like to do is just push them, just push the knife on top, and then we can just pull the seeds out easily. That's kind of a quick way to do it if you're in a midweek and you're in a rush and you're hungry and you want to eat. Just smash them open with the knife, take the pips out and you're done. So I'll just tear these apart slightly. Same again with the nocellara. These ones come out a lot easier. They do slide around a bit, so just be careful. They don't go everywhere. And now just a few of these little baby wild olives. Just crush those. Olives all have slightly different flavour profiles, so just find one which you like and experiment with this dish and see which one works better. As I say, the Kalamata olives can be slightly stronger in flavour, but you don't want to take over the dish too much because you still want the pasta to be the hero and that beautiful tomato sauce. Okay, so we've got our olive ensemble here. I'm just going to cut up the Kalamatas slightly. And you know what? I like to leave a few whole ones in there too, you know? So with our capers, we've got these beautiful tiny capers, and we'll just take a couple of teaspoons of those. These are in vinegar and they have a really bright punchy flavour to them. Just take some chili flakes. Now, we've got this kind of ready, but let's get the pasta on, get that cooking, and then we can start thinking about making the sauce. And we'll just salt that water. And I just like to use rock salt. So as I said, we've got this wonderful Voiello spaghetti. It's a bronze dye pasta, all the way from Italy. All Italian food is all about simple ingredients done well, and it's all about the quality of the ingredients that you're putting into it. So make sure you get a decent pasta. So one way I just like to open my pasta is just, you can just hold it nice and tight, and you can just bang on the table there, and it comes up. And you can see just how good this pasta is by the edge that it has on there. It's a nice rough edge, and you only get that from a bronze dye pasta. So we're doing it for 2 people, in which case the rule of thumb is, or the rule of finger is, that you can have, it's about 80 grams per person, or about a finger's diameter per person. So we'll just portion off what would be 2 fingers, and we'll just drop that into the boiling water and cook it to al dente, slightly underdone, because we're going to finish it off in the sauce. Okay, so we've got our garlic prepped, we've got our olives prepped, we've got our anchovies on standby. We're just going to open our tomatoes, get those ready. Look at these wonderful finely chopped Italian tomatoes, perfect to make that punchy sauce. So let's head over to the stove and get cracking. Okay, so we're just going to put that on medium heat because we just want to gently cook our garlic and infuse the olive oil with it. So we'll just go in with some olive oil. Then we're going to add our garlic. Also add our chili flakes. We're going to add 2 anchovies, and they're just going to melt down. And a little splash of anchovy oil as well, never goes amiss. So we'll just get a gentle saute on those. And you can see these just starting to melt into the oil. Okay, and it's at this stage that we can add our olives and our capers. So first of all, with our capers, And then our olives. And we'll just saute those slightly. And then we'll go in with our tomatoes. About half a can. You don't want too much tomato sauce. You just want enough to coat the pasta. Cooking's almost about restraint. You don't want to be putting everything in all the time. You need to fine tune things and get the balances perfect. And I must have cooked this 100 times, so it really is kind of second nature. And I think this is the best way to get the most well balanced sauce. So we'll just let that simmer gently. But still, I can feel it's still got a bit of a firmness to it, which is great. At this stage we won't put any salt in because we'll let the olives and the capers infuse the tomato sauce, and then we'll taste it, and then we'll put salt in just before we finish. Half a teaspoon of honey, and that isn't traditional, but this is my little secret to offset the saltiness. Now we don't really want to taste the honey, but we just want a natural sweetener. So why not use some decent honey? This is looking great. We'll just taste this. It does need a tiny bit of salt. And now it's at this stage that we can take our pasta and add that to the sauce. So we'll just take it straight over like that. So we'll just toss this through. A nice mix. You just take a little ladle of that pasta water as well, just to loosen the sauce. Okay. Now just look at this. Lovely consistency. So at this point we can add some of our wild oregano just to finish it, and I like the rawness of this. We didn't cook it with the pasta, this is just to garnish kind of, and it just finishes off the dish nicely. So we'll just pick some of those off. In fact, we can just not too much of that. That just gives a nice fragrance to it too. Okay, so we can plate this up. we'll just grate some pecorino over that. Finish it off with a touch of olive oil. Or black pepper. And there we have it. That's my spaghetti alla puttanesca. Let's try it. That is what a good puttanesca is about. Balanced flavours, not too salty, letting the pasta shine through, having great tomatoes, a little bit of piquancy from that chili. Bang on. Guys, try this dish. It's easy to do and it's stuff you can keep in your store cupboard as well. So it's the most convenient dish also. Right, let's check out the wine and see what we got today. So we've got Nero di Voiello, and let's say where this dish is from. Campania is southern Italy, so we're going for a Sicilian wine, Nero di Voiello. Voiello is a place in southern Sicily, and Nero just means black, so it's a black grape from Sicily. And this is going to pair really well with this because it's quite bold flavours which needs to match with this dish. So let's give it a try. So that's the kind of medium to full-bodied red. It's got a really bold flavour. It's got kind of like plum, licorice, black cherry flavours. It's going to work really well with the olives. So let's try this together. So though the flavours in this are quite strong, it's still quite light as well. But this is just a great pairing. So there you go. Awesome dish and a great wine to go with it. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this wine pairing as well. I'll put a description down below. Thanks for joining me and see you next time.